What's up? Good.
How do you feel about the humidity in Florida? How does that affect your playing?
I mean, I live down there during the off season, and I train in that weather all the time, which makes it actually easier to come here and play. But the heat obviously affects teams and players, but it's something we just have to deal with.
You're close to home. You know a few folks there.
Yeah, I'm gonna have a lot of family there. I think about 10 family members.
Last time you played in Jacksonville, been a while.
I can't remember honestly, but it has been a while. Yeah.
What were the conversations among the defense in the last couple of days? Because you could sense the disappointment coming out of Sunday's game.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it wasn't up to our standard, and we all agree that it wasn't up to our standard. So we're just trying to hold each other accountable. Not really point fingers at specific players, but just point fingers at the problem. We feel like we didn't tackle well enough. We feel like we didn't pursue the ball well enough. We see that offenses are attacking us with screen plays, and that's something that we're going to have to get better at.
When you have so many injuries going into a game or ones that happen during the game, do you have to change that messaging at all based on the experience level of the guys coming in?
I don't think so. We definitely want to try to have a next man up type of mentality. As soon as a guy is brought into this building, we want to let them know the type of standard that we play on defense right away before they even get their first snap on Sunday. They know what type of mentality and way we play football around here. Their first day they're here, so I don't think that we should change our messaging when it comes game day.
How do you get better at tackling, I guess, during the season when obviously you're not going to do it, live to the ground tackling in practice and all that?
I mean, I think a lot of it is just effort, just running to the ball, and then we have some coaches that we talk about like effort and angles and tackling. I feel like the effort and angles is a big part of tackling. If you don't cover those two parts of getting to the football, then I think the tackling part is kind of hard to catch up to.
Coach McDonald kind of mentioned that you can miss some tackles and there's going to be more guys around and it doesn't get seen as much, but that wasn't as much the case. Is that what you say is an effort thing? Is that something you're holding each other accountable for?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's something that we talk about as a defense, is that effort erases mistakes. So if, one guy is trying to set the edge and he misses a tackle, we should have a pursuit of, 9, 10 other guys pursuing to the ball inside out, that when he misses the ball, it should be stopped as soon as he cuts back inside. So I think that's like part of our defense, is that we play with hustle, we play with energy, and we help each other out by how hard we play.
How much do you think that it's about coaches getting things different from players, and how much is it about players getting things different from each other?
What do you mean by that?
Like, how much do you feel like it's about the players holding each other accountable versus coaches holding you guys accountable?
Okay, I think that's huge. I mean, in the end of the day, the players are the ones that are on the field. Players are the ones, we're next to each other, we're communicating with each other. The best teams, in my opinion, are player-led. In the end of the day, we should be having the keys to the team. Coaches do a good job of facilitating and kind of setting the example and things like that, but a good team is when the players, take it and run with it.
When you look at Jacksonville, what do they challenge you with offensively?
I think they just run a similar offense to the one that we just seen. In my opinion, it's a good thing that, we're going to see 2 back-to-back offenses like this. We seen what we were kind of deficient and lacking in this last game against that type of scheme. So we seen that, that's something that we have to work on, and that's something we're going to get better at throughout the week.
I think you talked about before being able to pick up on what's coming, run, pass, direction, based on tells you've picked up on over your career. Are there ways, I guess without giving specifics to Jacksonville, that you can tell when a screen is coming?
I don't think so. And I think, as a defensive lineman, you never want to be playing for the screen. That's going to slow your get off. That's going to make you play plays that, you're chasing plays at that point. I think as a defensive lineman, as any front guy, any person that's pressuring the quarterback, a screen is something that you should just react to. As soon as offensive lineman swims you or clubs you by and you feel like you were just unblocked, you should just plant your foot right away and just chase the lineman, and you shouldn't be trying to play for those type of plays.
Is Is that what makes them hard to defend, I guess, then? Because you're not ever really anticipating them?
Yeah, it does make it harder, but it's like, something that we harp on defense is effort, and I think that's what eliminates screens. It's not really a technique type of issue. It's more of a effort.
So like the one, I think you had a tackle on the screen on Sunday. That one you read whoever let you go and then reacted?
Yeah, I mean, I just remember taking the inside move. As soon as I got my second foot in the ground, I was wide open. So I'm like, okay, if they were actually pass blocking me, I'm not going to get in here that easily. So I think as a defensive lineman, from playing so much, it's like you have to like feel those type of things in a heartbeat, And I instantly, I felt the O lineman going that way, so I just planted and followed them, and it just takes you to the play.
When you look at a guy like Travis Hunter, who's getting snaps on both sides of the ball, what impresses you about that, and could you imagine doing?
I've tried to imagine a few times, actually. I wouldn't mind playing tight end, getting the rock a little bit at times. But I think he's a great player. I mean, he's a dynamic player. He's very athletic. And I think on offense, he, gives us some challenges. He makes guys miss in space. And he's a pretty good athlete.
What kind of tight end would you be?
More a red zone. Give me the ball, though. High point it.
What do you make of the fact you guys are 2-0 on the road this year, 9-1, I think, since the start of last season? What do you make of just all the success you've had on the road?
I mean, just keep it going, Wherever we are finding success, we want to just continue with that, and then wherever we're lacking, we want to grow in that. We obviously want to build on winning at home a little better, but if we're winning on the road and that's working for us, let's just make sure that it's continuing working.
I know you talked about the next man up thing, but just with Julian, when he's not there, what are some of the things that he does really well that you guys may miss?
I mean, he's a big presence on our defense for sure. He's a leader. I forget what year. I think he's year 7 now, but he's just a smart player. Regardless of his age, I think he's a smart player. He's good at communicating to his guys. He's cool at keeping everybody level-headed and on the same page. And when he's not out there, we feel it. But at the same time, I think he does a good job of when someone is filling in for his space, he's making sure he's coaching up that guy, making sure that he's going to fill that void the same way he would want to.
What goes into keeping guys level-headed?
Just communicating, I think. There's a lot of pressure and sudden change moments in the game where anything can happen out there. And when the defense takes the field, we want to make sure that we're not too high or too low. And he's just like, hey, we got to play football. We got to stop the offense. And sometimes just hearing him behind me allows me to play well.
Mike Morris is a guy who's gotten some more reps lately, especially with some injuries. What have you seen out of him this year as he's kind of grown into his role?
I mean, I think he's doing a great job of just taking advantage of his opportunities, starting with special teams. He's on kickoff, he's on punt, he's on all these special teams phases, and I think he's been making plays and playing with a lot of effort and intention, and I think the coaches have seen that, so it's motivated them to, allow him to play more snaps on defense.
Anything else? Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.